Call the meeting to order. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any additions or deletions to the agenda?
I have a few. Check number 34280 for $1,573.63 for the second half of our computers. That came in after I put the rest on there. And then under admin, I'd like to add approval for a liquor license. And then also under admin, approval to apply for a regional bike grant.
Fire department would like to add discussion of a lockbox.
A lockbox?
Lockbox.
Okay. Anybody else have anything? Hearing none. Moving on. Consent agenda items. A, B, and C. A, disbursements. Register including claims list for approval. As presented below there. And schedule financial statement. That's on page 6 of your packet. The Lex Fuel mileage report. And the minutes of the January 27th meeting. A motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make the motion to approve it.
Move a second.
Is that including the council minutes from January 27th meeting?
I just have to have a little fun here. We just have to take out the reporter Dawn from the Times.
Wow.
I'm sure that you probably meant to say Dawn Timms, but Dawn was right.
It was a long flight from New York. That's why I was like ready to get in that front door.
Sorry, I just had to point that out. Otherwise, oh, funny stuff.
Was that a second?
Yes, I will second that. Sorry.
Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Good job.
Good catch.
Oh, okay.
Moving on. Planning and zoning. Any business brought forward?
We forgot the first one is recommended required sign permit. Coyote recommended a sign permit.
Right.
And he called today and took that back.
He took that back?
Yes.
So we'll eliminate that.
Right.
Okay.
Did he say why?
Yes, because it was a miscommunication. He thought that the sign was coming down and a new one was being put up. And that's not the case, it's just the name is being changed on the sign.
So planning and zoning, did anybody happen to receive the email from him?
I was gonna bring that up, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, do we need to discuss that or just take it as it is?
What's
Because
that?
Coyote's resignation,
Sent out an email just short.
like right at 3:30 something. he resigned, his last day will be February 25th.
Who's this now?
Coyote.
Coyote.
He resigned from Sourcewell, not from.
Not from,
Yeah,
Okay, so Sourcewell will be likely assigning somebody else.
they'll reach out to us, yeah. His last day is February 25th.
Okay.
He did send an email to everybody thanking them for their collaboration. It was a nice email, just saying, thank you and farewell.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
See where he's going?
No, no, but I knew that he was strongly pursuing his continuing education to go further up the ladder of what it was he was doing, so. Assuming that was
Okay, the other item on the agenda is the comprehensive plan kickoff meeting.
The flyers came in, one is in the packet, you can see it. April did distribute them around town. And then I was wondering
That's these, right?
Mm-hmm.
if the committee met anymore, if there's, like, if they need anything from me as far as, are you gonna have food, are you just gonna buy it and then submit a receipt?
I can help
How does
that.
work?
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't met, but we've emailed back and forth,
Do
so.
you think we should just do like pastries instead of like some hot, like each? Yeah, something basic.
We'll chat about that.
Yeah, okay, sounds good. And I'll just submit for.
Anything else from the planning and zoning? Hearing none, moving on. Fire department business.
January report, 7 medical, 1 good intent, and 2 fires for a total of 10. Item 2, we had a truck, the brakes went out on it shortly after our last meeting. So I got in contact with my liaison, and it was decided that we should go ahead with the repairs, even though they were over my spending limit. And I haven't seen a bill for that yet, but it's gonna be $1,800 to $2,000. The truck hasn't been fixed. I just wanted you to be aware that I took the proper channels and the truck is repaired. So you're gonna see a bill for that. Informational for now, I guess. Item number 3. So with this new security system, the fear is that power is going to go out at our key fobs aren't going to work. And we need to get an ability to go to call. So discussion was a lockbox with a key block. Looks like the door. If that's feasible for you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The lock boxes are very affordable, so.
Right, there is a couple keys for that door, but there's no guarantees that those people that hold those keys are gonna be here for that call, so.
Yeah, that's a great
So
idea.
you want a lockbox outside the door?
Yeah, with a key, actual key.
In case of emergency.
Okay.
Brett, I have a lockbox back there, do you want to use that?
And I'd like to keep that key on a chain so that it doesn't back in the lockbox. So,
Okay, if it works for you, you're welcome to it.
Be on the safe side. Do we have a motion to approve the fire department put the lockbox on the outside of the building?
I'll make a motion to approve putting the lockbox on the outside of the building for the fire department
As requested.
as requested,
Do
yeah.
we have a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion on the motion?
I have a question. So that lockbox, is it gonna be, who's gonna have the code for the lockbox? Is it gonna be anything like?
It'll be manual.
here's the,
Is it a
It's
push
a push
button?
button,
Behind the
typically. A scroll.
scroll.
I think every fireman should have access to it.
Yeah, so should we put that in the thing that everybody has to sign for keys and for key fobs also? So that's not a code that just gets shared around,
Fire department based only.
yes, that's for the fire department only.
Don't see that somewhere.
Document, or just have them sign the thing saying.
Maybe Brad and his liaison and then,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're adding that to the motion then?
That the fire department signs off on the code and
Okay, that's okay.
So I make a motion to approve a lockbox for the fire department assigned to the fire department.
And who seconded it?
I second.
You're okay with that?
Yes.
Fire department's okay with it? Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
And thank you, Brad, and Al also, because, I mean, if you have something like that that you're using, that's win-win. That's great.
Any other fire department business?
I have a question, if you don't mind, about fire department business, the garage out here. Are you using that for storage?
There we do have some stuff.
That's all, I understand that question. Thank you.
Moving on. Police department.
not on the highway.
Police department business.
So January report of a total of 51 calls for the month, total of 51, obviously it's first month of the year. My mileage, I got two calls from home. And then we have approval for the IT contract for Morrison County. And I think the last time, if I remember right, Candy agreed we talked, when we switched over to the new IT, we had said that we were going to try to have the police department go to the IT with the county just because of all the requirements there is for like safety and stuff with the department. And if we go with them, they're going to design it so I can just go in with their system and it'll be a lot cheaper. We don't know if you guys ever officially approved that. That's my understanding, right? We need an official approval that you guys are gonna approve me going, signing the contract.
Signing the contract with Morrison County.
You want us to approve, you're signing the contract?
Well, you would be you too. We just need to approve it. They approve that contract. And then there's also some equipment. I don't know if you want to put it, that they need to, and I think that's on page 14 if you look. All members at $1,700,
$1,541.
It's $1,541 that the equipment they need to get for me to do that. So if you guys want to approve both of them at the same time, that's fine.
Yeah, I think we can do that. Do I have a motion to approve both of those? Both of those? Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve both of them.
Do I have a second? One second. Is there any discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
How soon will they be taking over?
As soon as you, well, they kind of took over already, kind of, because we just kind of lapsed before we caught it. But yeah, things are going smooth. And once the equipment comes down, install it, and we'll be over there.
Great.
Now, did you have anything else?
Thank you, Al.
Anybody have anything for Al? Moving on. Public Works.
Okay, page 15 is the report. See, down towards the bottom, and they're 0.84 average last month, and it's only getting worse. We're struggling with phosphorus out there now. And the industry's been wrapping up for the winter time, things are getting tight, so keep trying to make limits. Might be tight this year. This cold isn't helping us either. The only thing I got is the air compressor. I have JF, John Henry Foster in, and verified that the air end is bad, and they got me a quote at $5,397 to replace the compressor part of it. Or $11,200 to replace the whole machine. That's what they prefer to do, but I think we'll be all right with just replacing the part. I guess I should get approval for at least that, and I'd like to see if we can tear it, but they said they don't rebuild them. It seems like it ought to be something that should be rebuildable. I'd like to see what it is inside first. But I think I should have that.
So approval for JHP, is that what you said?
John Henry Foster.
Okay,
Yes.
for the cost of a new, just the one part.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's on their report here. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
The air compressor ended bad,
Okay.
so he's just he's just wanting to have a motion to approve the repair.
Yeah.
So I will make a motion to approve the repair of the air
Do I have a
compressor.
second? No second. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
That's all I have right now. Let's see what's happening.
Anybody have anything for Bruce? Moving on.
Thank you, Bruce.
Administration.
Water usage spreadsheet is. Any questions? I'd like to ask, please. A copy of the spring summer letter newsletter was sent to each of you to just kind of review, and if you have anything you want to add or change, you can contact Janae about it. Janae, she's putting that together. I received a Fairbook ad form. I don't know if we've ever put an ad in the Fairbook before, but I bring it to your attention and see if you're interested. I'm gonna send you a copy.
I don't remember advertising in the Fairbook. But I think
didn't
it's
think
something.
in June, but
Yeah, it was June.
yes,
Yeah, we sponsored.
sure.
Yeah, I don't remember putting that in there, but I do remember supporting them with a donation.
Yep.
Yes,
Out of 10%, but I can't remember any ad.
sure, that's what I'm remembering.
Yeah, I guess just my opinion. I think we should support them and do a full page ad, but.
Is that a motion?
That's my motion
Full page ad.
for $200.
I'll second.
We have a second. Any further discussion?
Yeah, what would you like the ad to say? And
I was thinking about that, besides do we add anything besides our city logo?
Oh, I think we could work on coming up with something that's really
Sure. We got a little time.
good. Yeah.
You put the you in the community. I don't know, something cheesy like that. I don't know. We'll think of something.
we'll work on that.
Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
I
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Okay, I got a liquor license application for Lonnie's Place. And all the paperwork has been filed and he paid for it, so we just need council approval. And I would like to ask for the council to extend, our liquor licenses end June 31st. If his could be, if it's approved, if it could be extended through June 31st of next year, so he doesn't have to pay again in a couple months.
Who's that for?
Lonnie's Place.
The old country.
Oh, that's the name of it?
Yeah.
do I have to take this for this?
I don't know.
Well, what did we approve at one point when he was here?
Well, we had approved it.
You approved for him to apply
Yeah.
with conditions that it would be on sale only
So,
until 10 July.
So if he opens soon, he's good until June 30th, but then would have to reapply and pay it again.
Yes, unless you extend it to next
Prove
year.
it through June of next year.
Correct.
Do we have a motion on that?
Tammy, did he say when he's thinking about being open? 'Cause I'm guessing he's still a couple months out, or he's still?
I think it's gonna be soon, like,
His goal is March 1st, but it's not gonna happen.
So if it opens May or beginning of June, he literally has to turn around. So
Mhm.
I guess
And
I'm
it's
okay with extending it.
$2,000, I mean, it's.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
How much is it?
$2,000. I don't think it would be right to have to.
Pay it 2 months
Yeah.
after he.
So the motion to approve through June of next year.
Correct.
Okay, did somebody approve that motion?
I will second that.
Who made the motion?
I thought you said.
Hmm?
Okay, sorry. I'll make the motion to approve it.
Any discussion on the motion?
The motion now is he can go another year past June, right?
Correct.
Through June of 2026.
I will
Right.
second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Then it was brought to my attention today that we can apply for a grant through Region 5. The deadline is March 1st. And it's up anywhere from $2,000 to $20,000 with no match. It has to have something to do with energy efficiency. And I did get this email on December 17th and forwarded it to Bruce. Bruce did contact, I don't know, what do you call him? Yeah, the guy he's working with through Region 5 is a solar system or solar panel project, and he never heard back. So I was able to find out that it is possible that we can stack that grant with this one, but there's logistics to work out. It's also possible that if we apply for the grant, we can use it for the engineering part of the remodel of the city hall if there is energy efficiency measures or factored in there, yeah. So what I need is approval to apply for the grant. They don't really know exactly what we're gonna apply for.
Right.
Okay. I have a motion to approve applying for the grants.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second thought.
Any discussion on the motion?
So I just have a quick question. With the application for the grant, do we have to have like a rough idea of what we're gonna incorporate this? So we have to present it in our application with our plans as well? Or do we, like cost-wise, how are they gonna know to what to base it off of estimated if we don't know?
I know what you're asking, I don't know my answer.
Okay, thank you.
So the building committee has met, and we've been discussing with different engineer companies, for having them come in and look and give us different options of what we need done. And then, once we have all that information, pick one or two of them and bring them to the council. So it's a hard question to answer right now until we have that portion of it done. But at least Tammy can apply for it.
Right.
And if we get it, then that's going to cover a huge portion of like the assessment or the phase 1 of the study.
But once we apply, we need to know how much.
It's really unclear to me at this point, but I think I can apply for the full 20,000.
Okay.
Absolutely. And we'll find a motion.
Right.
I mean, there's always room for improvement.
Any further discussion on the motion?
This is just kind of information, the 20,000, it's variable. If, say for instance, we only need 8,000, what happens to that other 12? And this is just kind of for my information, or?
They probably just give us what we need, is my assumption. I mean, whatever our project is gonna cost, then they'll give us that much. They're not gonna give us more than what we need and just let us keep it.
Once I know, have more information on how to go forward, once we get our questions answered by Region 5, I'll know how much to apply for.
Okay.
Perfect.
So can we just say the committee comes back and it's 10 grand? Can we find something to do with the other thing?
It's gonna be more than that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, I know.
So
Our cheapest one so far is 12, and that's not including the energy. It's
Let's
the
say it's
energy in there,
15.
it's gonna be 15.
Can we add something in?
Okay, that's great.
I don't think so, because it specifically has to be for the engineers or for an assessment of some sort. It cannot go towards the project itself, and it can't go towards wages or the building.
It has to pertain to
Yeah,
specific energy efficient.
assessment.
I mean,
Assessment.
so is that something though, if they come back, give you a price of say 15 grand, can we have them look into going, well, let's do this also? Or something like that. Why not use it all?
I can find out.
Okay. That's all.
Mhm. A lot of unknowns at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else for the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Now we're under old business. Ordinance 188.
I know we thought we were done with this, but a few questions came up. Before we amend the ordinance to put language in here to make it clear that there will be no allowable seasonal suspension, it's come to our attention that there are, like, how many properties, Bruce? 5? 5 properties that are questionable. Bruce can probably explain better what the issue is.
Well, we have one up here that I remember back, it seems like we were signed with Waste Management, they didn't allow us to spend anything, that's why we had to put the language in there to make it wrong. But we had a house up in the north, farthest north property of town that was, we even had given them a letter at one point, because they're not here except on weekends in the summertime, and they're not there to put out their garbage cans even. So we allowed them to, give them a letter that said they could use our dumpster, because we were making them pay for the service.
Sure.
Now, as we were going through this the other day, we noticed their next door property is next door neighbor, who's, I believe, living there, I don't know for sure, but not charged at all at the moment, or not even getting garbage service at this point. And trying to remember what some of the other ones were, but there was about 5 on the list that, they're here on weekends during the summertime, they're not here during the week, even where they can use the service, but we still make them do that, and just discuss their concept. If we can suspend it now that Long Prairie Sanitation is taken over, do we suspend it for people that aren't even gonna be around to use it, you know? As long as we're not getting charged, why, just.
I know I talked to Tammy and Janae a little bit, and she said it isn't a big deal.
Not with Long Prairie Sanitation, with
True.
Waste Management it was.
If somebody doesn't want to do it, or they're not, I guess does not want to do it, if they're just here part-time, I guess I don't see a problem with not making them pay. I know I would want to pay for it year-round if I'm here
Right, why pay for
6
service?
weekends out of it.
And the question we're having is there's contradiction, like we have one customer that's only here in the summer and the weekends that we do make them pay. We have another customer that's only here on the weekends in the summer that we don't make them pay. You know,
Need to
it's
be
not,
consistent
yeah,
with
it's
it.
not consistent.
If they're not living here at all, they just come in on weekends during the summer, I don't think we should make them pay, my thought. Because they should be a resident. And the resident would be wanting to shut off during a few months during the year somewhere, or weekends or whatever. But they are residents that want it paused for them, you know, is what we're looking at. Not somebody who owns a property that they don't actually live in, they just come up on weekends sometime during the summer. And basically use it as a weekend getaway during the summer or whatever.
Then I know.
See, that's the thought I had, was that we were talking about residents. Residents who want a pause in the service.
And we do have a resident that, for some reason, it's a house that was getting collection, and then that person moved. And when the new person moved in, they don't have water and sewer, so they weren't on our radar. Now we found out they don't have garbage collection, and they should.
They should, because it's their
Yeah.
primary residence.
Yeah.
So I know last time we kind of went with everybody had to pay, right? No matter what, because we didn't want to be looking at who was here, who wasn't.
No,
But Janae said it wasn't that big a deal. So in my mind, if they're not a full-time resident and it's not a hassle, I guess my thought is we don't make them pay.
Even if it's
Just
seasonal,
a
like they should.
benefit for them. I don't know why make them pay if they're not here.
Financially, I don't think it's a big deal, but the only problem with that is, once you're grandfathered in, if I can use that word, that can change in a heartbeat. And nobody's gonna say a word. So they could be coming up here every weekend, and not paying. Like I said, we're talking not a whole lot of people, so it's not financially gonna change a whole lot, but just morally it can change real quick.
It's easier to keep track of the people who have a water and sewer account, but the people that don't, you know, that's how that one is getting away with not having garbage.
All right.
You know.
And we don't get paid, or we don't pay for it if they're not paying for it, so. Sinead's done a pretty good job of finding out who's, yeah, she got it straightened out before, we were losing money, now we're not, so. yeah.
So you are billing them now for that, for garbage, or?
We haven't yet, because we didn't know, I mean, did this happen before Janae and I were here, and did council approve that they didn't have to have garbage? I don't know why they would, but.
And real quick, Long Prairie Sanitation, their feelings towards this is,
They're fine with it, we reached out to them, and they have no problem.
okay.
I think that's why this verbiage that's highlighted in the red on page 18 is what we're talking about, and that needs to be taken out. So like Dennis said, before we were thinking about charging everybody even if they're not here, but now we're talking about undoing that.
So the verbiage in red actually was what we were gonna add
Right.
after
Okay,
the
that
last
was my question.
time when council decided,
So
now
that's-
we're like, do we wanna add that?
So with no allowable seasonal it's suspension, otherwise allowed by city council. So if we approve suspending the non-primary residents, is that kind of what we're all leaning towards?
There's one more instance that there is a business that owns a home that they rent out. Does that property have to have, the business doesn't have to have garbage pickup, and they don't, they have a dumpster. When they're renting out that home, does that home have to have garbage pickup, or can we allow them to throw their garbage in?
They're two separate
businesses? Right, but it's the same
They got a
owner.
point, right?
Yeah,
But
I mean, so do we tell that business you have to have garbage pickup there?
I would say yes.
I would say yes, if it's a residence.
Residents.
Well, and especially if they're a landlord and it's being rented by a tenant that is a family.
They're also not on our water and sewer, so we have no way of knowing when somebody's living there or when they aren't.
Oh, they have their own well and sewer.
I say they should have to have their own garbage.
But then that's defeating the purpose of what we're talking about, because it's making them pay for something that they're not using if they're using it at the business.
Nobody's saying they're using the business. They can.
I'm just
Nothing.
assuming that's what they're doing
Right.
because they don't have
Right.
to pick up their, where's their garbage going?
Right.
You know, I get personally, if it were me, I'd be saying just throw your garbage in here, you know.
Are they right next to each other kind of deal? Oh, okay.
That's a really gray area.
This is starting to sound like we might want to put it up to our table list at the next meeting. And in the meantime, have, basically a committee go over and see if we can't get some clarification really on what we're dealing with
Okay.
and come back with a recommendation.
What clarification would you be looking for?
Yeah, because Long Prairie Sanitation has already figured it out that they're willing to do this, and Janae has dissected this. So,
It's pretty much the one place is all we're talking about right now, right?
That's the only one that wouldn't be answered by this question.
There's just like a
That one's like,
handful.
what do we do about it? Do we tell this business, we know you have a rental home and you have garbage pickup?
right.
So,
Come to the council and request it.
Yeah, unless he comes to council. Yeah,
Right.
that's-
so who has a quarter?
Well, now, is
Just
my
let-
question, do they come before the council and request that then? I mean, they actually haven't requested it, so it's hard to vote on anything if they haven't.
And do we ask for proof that they're renting it out or not renting it? I mean, how can they prove that? They can just say, well, no one's living there.
I say my vote would be that's a residence, they pay. Because that's kind of what we've already said with everybody else.
Whether someone's living there or not.
Yeah.
And there were two of them that you didn't know about because they don't have sewer and water. But they're in the city.
That's where this is gonna become hard,
Mm-hmm.
to track of, I guess. Like you're saying, then we do put the language in there and everybody pays no matter what.
Yeah, which, I don't know. I
Unless
guess
it's not their.
Janae said it didn't seem like it was that hard to keep track of. That's what she told me.
And Bruce, you're talking just a handful of people here. So it's
People on the outskirts.
yeah, it'd be one thing if we're talking about an astronomical amount of people, like 10 plus. We're talking 10 or below, so I don't think that it's a lot of difference in opinions here. So it is, there's a lot of layers to this, I guess, but it's a handful of people. We're not talking 20, 30 people here. I mean, no. I think cost-wise, like Steve said, that financially is, we're not gonna be at a loss for a handful of people. When we're already not, because Janae decided to. And Long Prairie Sanitation is in agreement with it. And this was written, you think, before you got here, when we were still under contract with Waste Management. So,
That's my belief.
sure. Now we don't believe it. Is this just something that we do case by case, like presented to the city council, or do we just?
So I guess
With the
that's,
handful of people that it is.
right off of that, is this something that we can say, if you don't come in and say, here's what I do, I, come up on weekends and here, a couple months during the summer or whatever, then if they come in and ask, they can get the right to not do it. Like I said, I guess if I
Like sign a
was
waiver or
just
something?
coming up in the summer, I wouldn't want to pay all of it myself. And
So then there's two separate things that need to be decided. One is, are you gonna allow seasonal suspensions or not? the other thing is, should we write a letter to all these ones in question and say,
This is our
come
policy.
to- yeah, and you can come to city council if you want to change it.
I'm on board with that.
Yeah.
I like the verbiage with no allowable seasonal suspension, because that is what we agreed on prior. And if they want to come in and request, they're only here 2-3 months of the year, and we decide on case basis.
And I think that's a great idea, because then not only that, if somebody does choose to come and present it to the city council, then we have a paper trail that it was them themselves that requested it. So there is a lot of different avenues that could be gone over, but again, like what Nikki said, I agree with, because it's not like gonna be like an everyday occasion where you're gonna have somebody wanting to postpone their garbage pickup. And if so, they can come here. And
Well, I'm just wondering, looking at this language here, you got seasonal and no on there, are they gonna all wanna come in every fall and request the shots off?
right.
It's gonna make it heavy for you guys to be approving them every time.
They're not shut up, or some of them shut off now. I mean, most of them,
They have one now.
That's because we have that verbiage in there, they had to.
Yeah, but if we're not, I mean,
Start opening the can, you couldn't get
Mhm.
more, that's what we're saying.
Well, that language has always been in there. The only thing that's added is what's in red with no allowable seasonal suspension.
Is that, do we know if that, the BRDB over here, do they have garbage?
but on the river.
I don't know.
I think they do.
I've never seen garbage there,
Vacation rental property at the river.
but there you open it up and see if we don't want to, we don't have to. Then you have another thing.
I would think it'd be more if they're a seasonal person, if they're not staying there.
And then if it's a VRBO, isn't it a business? And businesses don't
Oh,
have.
I see, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, does somebody want to make a motion on this that would clarify the matter for us?
The motion doesn't have to be made about the no allowable seasonal suspension, because that's already, but a motion has already been made on that.
Okay.
So the motion just needs to be
To send letters to those who.
however you decide you want us to do this.
So it would be case by case then. Is that basically what we're,
So what about if you just leave it the way you have it and then send a letter saying our policy is if you're a resident of the city of Molly, you have to have garbage. If you choose to do otherwise, you need to come in front of the city council. And that leaves it open. Because I'm guessing they can't get garbage as cheap as we have it here.
No.
And I don't believe there needs to be a motion on that.
okay.
Okay.
It's just your decision and let me know how to go forward with this. What about if not a resident don't have to pay? Is that in there? I mean, it says if you're a resident. It says each residence and residential unit. It doesn't say somebody has to be living there. It just says if it's left vacant with no intention of anyone occupying in the foreseeable future. So that means they have to pay if they're not a resident of vacant property. If they're coming up, ever,
That would be what
they
they
would
would.
have to pay.
Yeah.
Well, it's discontinued at the discretion of the city. So if we're made aware of vacant properties, we can discontinue.
But how does that apply to the people who are just come up for a couple of weekends a year?
Well, it would be just like that.
It would be at the discretion of the city.
So we send letters to those people too, so.
They do a formal letter and they create the council, they can only come up two or three units and approve it, and then that's coming.
Thank you.
Thank No.
Okay, is that it for that?
That's it.